Most people will agree with me that classes are boring and they don't want to do it and they think it's a waste of time. But some classes have the potential to be fun for most people. For me, that class would be history. I like all the guns and the weapons and how they used them and what they did in the wars throughout history that changed the outcome of each one. For classes like math and bio, it might not be as simple and not fun at all to play a math game or a simulator. But for other classes like history, you can get a feel of how it was like in the War for America's independence. In that time, it was a brutal war with the British that eventually led to being rid of tyrant kings and instead fair presidents. The best example I can think of is Assassin's Creed 3. Actually, any Assassin's Creed game, really, as long as what you're currently learning. But anyways, if you were to play a game like this, then you can learn history as it happened without sitting in a room getting a lecture about how great George Washington was, and instead learning yourself exactly how he was a great man, the choices he made, the actions he performed. When he was offered all this power, he refused it because he knew it would be just like being a king with a different man. He would have become the thing he fought to prevent. What is also very interesting is that there will be an add-on to Assassin's Creed 3 that will tell the story of an alternate version of history, with Washington, our founding father, accepting the power of becoming a tyrant and seeing how it would have been like. So, if you ever imagine how that would be like, then I can have a better idea. So not only would you learn how Washington became president, but you also learn about the battles and events that took place during that time, like the Battle of Lexington, or at Bunker Hill, or the Boston Tea Party, and even witness the Boston Massacre. What I'm getting at is instead of getting this information crammed into your head and then taking a test about it, you can experience it yourself and learn history as it happens. Now, of course, games aren't 100% accurate, but what I can say without a doubt that I learned more about history in Assassin's Creed than I've ever did in any history class, because it told history in a way that kept me entertained with lots of action mixed with information, with the storyline that isn't what we all heard before. What we all usually think is George Washington defeated the British and became the first president of the U.S. While it is true, it's not in detail. And whenever I know I'm going to have to learn things, I think in my mind, oh man, I now have to make sure I take notes, then I'm going to have to take a test on it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a bad grade on it because my notes didn't have any detail because it was so boring and so on. But if I could have played Assassin's Creed instead, I will guarantee you that I would almost never have to take notes about history. But now that I'm off track, if schools allowed a fun way of learning, like playing Assassin's Creed 3, then for some people they could learn history a little easier. But of course, if gaming is not your thing, then perhaps you can go to a friend's house to play the game, or look at some gameplay on YouTube. If you don't have access to either of these options, then use a school computer. Of course, if you're a homeschool student like me, then you probably have access to this stuff. But if you don't have a system to play on, then you're missing out.